Hi everyone, it's Erin Helyard here again with another series from our Pinchgut at Home videos. Now, in the spirit of bizarre composers with weird names, I thought I'd continue the flavour this week with another bizarre composer with a weird name. Last week we had Johann Ludwig Krebs. This week we have an Italian by the name of Azzolino Bernardino della Ciaia. So it's spelt C-I-A-I-A. Very unusual spelling, della Ciaia. He was an interesting guy. He was born in Siena in 1671 and he died in Pisa in 1755. So roughly the same generation as J.S. Bach. He was born into a very wealthy family. As a young man, he became associated with an order of knights called the Pisan Cavalieri di San Stefano, associated with the Grand Duke of Tuscany. And apparently, as a young man, on a sea journey with these knights, to escape the commotion and noise of the sailors around him, he retired to his room and he began to compose as a bit of a hobby. And this was something that kept with him throughout his whole life. He had various civic duties later on as an older man. But music was a very significant part of his life. And he published quite widely in sacred and secular music. He was also an extraordinary organist, and he was involved with the construction and design of various organs in Italy. But he was also obviously a very fine keyboardist. The piece I want to play to you today is from a really extraordinary collection, his Opus 4, around 1744, we think in Bologna. And they're not nearly performed enough, I think, by keyboardists. Really extraordinary work. Because music was a bit of a hobby for this gentleman, it meant that he was a little bit more experimental than his professional colleagues. And this work is really, really amazing when you get your hands dirty with it. Lots of excursion into strange keys, unusual effects like one-fingered glissandi. He writes in fingering, he uses the whole keyboard. Anyway, the piece I wanted to play to you today is a C major prelude, not unlike a prelude in C major that you will probably know. The first prelude of Book 1 of the Walzer Clavier of the great J.S. Bach. This one is the same, it's in C major, but it's much more adventurous than Bach, meaning it goes into many different keys. It has a really extraordinary, dreamy, rhapsodic quality that's quite extraordinary. It's almost like 18th century ambient music, so I hope you enjoy.